A moment of confusion results when the sound of an empty flagpole apparatus smacking against itself evokes soft strains of the national anthem in the wind. At least, or hopefully, it will replace the cell phone ringtone stuck on repeat in the head of one who first knew it as incidental music in a political television drama. Some level of intrigue is present in all legislative action, to be sure. The lighting inside the congressional chamber setting the scene for elegant contortions of sleep in hard-backed chairs, starched suits collapsing around long incumbent bodies. I would prefer the memorial to be sculpted from this pose, if there must be one. Observe a quiet, lazy desperation in the eyes of our less glamorous representatives, resembling the look of a movie gangster staggering around for final goodbyes after having been shot in the stomach. Those empty irises rendered in granite might necessitate an eternal flame nearby as a counterpoint. In the heat of summer 2004, my siblings and I lined up in front of our Carrie Edwards official campaign yard sign. We had dressed entirely in Carrie Edwards official campaign apparel, each t-shirt design unique from the others, with the exception of my sister's, a bootleg constructed from an iron-on tracing. When our grandmother later received the resulting image as a Christmas card, she judiciously censored the political material with her schoolteacher stickers before displaying it in the usual place of honor. In publishing, a call-out is a short string of text connected by a line, arrow, or similar graphic to a feature of an illustration or technical drawing, and giving information about that feature. In music, call-out hooks are small portions of a song, usually 7 to 10 seconds of a song's hook, used by radio stations in market research to assist in gauging the popularity of a song by the recognizability of its hook. In the fine arts, a call-out is a notice calling for response from artists to contribute, apply, or enter various proposed events by curators and/or galleries. I stare intently into a city bus's full-bleed window vinyl, hoping to impart a look of sympathy on one seated behind the Call of Duty advertisement, in a darkened air which is rarefied and suffocating, creating the illusion that there is not enough available for everyone on the bus. There is a small metal sign on the side of the road, out front of an auto repair shop, visible during my morning commute. On the sign, a red octagon. In it, the words, "Brake problems, stop here." Besides offering a generous helping of potential meanings, which all lead back to the same centralized node, creating the familiar certainties of a board game or an ant farm, the overall visual effect serves to recall a stop sign, specifically the B2A version as specified under the 1968 Vienna Convention on road signs and signals. A Scottish engineer named John Loudon McAdam is credited with the greatest advance in road construction since Roman times, having developed an inexpensive paving material of soil and stone aggregate. His method of processing the stones involved a group of people seated and, using small hammers, shattering the stones such that no one piece was more than 6 ounces in weight, and all could pass through a 2-inch ring. He believed that the quality of the road depended on these stones being applied carefully, one shovelful at a time. McAdam's family name had historically been MacGregor, but was changed for political reasons during the reign of James VI, at which time the family began to claim descent from the biblical Adam. The name McAdam subsequently became one half of the etymological root for tarmac. When a well-worn walking path becomes paved, is it an indication that the institution on whose property the path is found has acquiesced to or sublimated the free will of its users? As subjects of a tyranny of convenience, how are we to take action? Example, or near relation. An unseen motorcycle revs loudly in defiance of the Spanish language R&B emanating from a pizzeria's outdoor speaker system, but recorded, in theory, by its mounted security camera. An impasse is reached from which no resolution can be negotiated, the parties perhaps unaware even themselves of what has caused this sudden break. Arbitration seems to fall to me. Elsewhere, a knee-high front yard tree line indicates the homeowner's desire for future privacy. How liberating it must be to imagine their young spruces finally reaching maturity, the moment at which they might begin going about without fear. The medians of certain highways are littered with small clumps of trees that serve as premeditated natural camouflage for the police cars that sit just beyond them. The authority of nature, administered by the hand of the law. The section of caution tape used to hold up a fence may have come too late for its manufactured purpose. Any caution taken now is that of a visitor, careful not to disturb the fragile poise of that which is beheld, and simply held, holding itself, letting all expression fall from the face except those furrowed indications of deep thought, tastefully consulting the printed program, eyes rising from the text hoping to catch a gaze, but not to be caught. A wry, scraped-out self-consciousness infinity mirror elevator, on its way to a sub-basement, perhaps where we have parked. Desperate for something charming to say about it later, although remark will probably never be called for. As for the paved path, some resistance tactics. To scrawl initials and other messages into it while still wet, preferred method of amateur colts and young lovers alike. To apply layer upon layer of chewing gum, eventually achieving impastos of record thickness. To find yesterday's geometrically precise hopscotch board, rendered abstract and gestural in the morning dew. To treat it as the staging area for an intricate bricolage of unwanted household furniture, appliances, clothing, shoes, etc. To wait for its defacement by a popular street artist, necessitating its painstaking removal, restoration, and reappearance at auction. to allow the path to become distressed and eventually deconstructed by the slow growth of nearby roots. After a bitterly pragmatic wait, the playful vindication of decorative shade and seasonal seed droppings onto utility surface, over which troops might have moved much more quickly. Over their heads, actual icicles have formed around the blinking lights hung year-round in their honor. Hiro Iman Kimura, oldest man to have ever lived, born in 1897, died this past summer. He was 116 years and 54 days old. He retired in 1962 at the age of 65, having worked in post offices for 45 years. According to him, small portions of food were the key to a long and healthy life. He woke up early in the morning and read newspapers with a magnifying glass. On the capitalist model, we envy the quantity of his years, but anticipate their quality to have suffered some as a result. A simple matter of supply and demand. We imagine ourselves as savvy entrepreneurs of compromise and ambition, write our biographies in reverse, with the present day continuing to mark the conclusion of an uneventful but happily fraught prelude. According to a nephew, Kimura's birthday was mistakenly recorded as April 19th instead of March 19th, 1897, in 1955 when records from neighboring towns were consolidated and redone. If this is the case, 2 days before Kimura was born, Enoch Richter filmed the Corbett Fitzsimmons Championship boxing match on St. Patrick's Day in Carson City, Nevada. Originally running at over 100 minutes, it was the longest film that had ever been released, the world's first feature film. That is, a film with a running time long enough to be considered the principal or sole event to fill a program. The film climaxes with Fitzsimmons hitting Corbett in the solar plexus for a knockout, Corbett crawling outside of the space of the camera such that he is not visible above the waist. As time would have it, the large-scale conspiracy which was often afoot in the streets, one having to do with the synchronized closings of car doors and tessellating patterns of foot traffic, suddenly gave way to the rush of candy chemicals, cleaning chemicals, cocktail inside the CVS, the cryogenic effect of which served as a reminder of chain stores used in the future as teleportation hubs, so well positioned to assume the role, having already been for many years reliable save points in video games. Meanwhile, the consequences of time on a more immediate scale might be considered. Example, I harbor a vague sense of dread for the day that any great romance becomes most well remembered as the password to one's email, a fate best warded off by purposeful non-involvement in all affairs durational, a preference for cycles and loops, every full stop found and replaced with ellipses. An index of a magnetic ribbon is left in bumper dust, surrounded by other forgotten sympathies. Torn remains of stickers we can't believe in anymore. The wrinkling plastic decal of an alma mater still being paid for. Baby on board notifications for which the bottom suction cup has proved stronger than the top, rightfully nullifying the alarmist announcement of youth, or else representing a sign of residual distress, a baby off board. We can at least appreciate the cryptic vanity plate for what it says of the vanity to which it refers. Spending the night with a rotating fan, I have the feeling of being surveilled by lasers and determined harmless. Sleep comes pathetic, like the death of someone trying just to play dead. For much of a night, I find myself intermittently checking a signed Kiss drumhead hung from a wall for the time, always hoping someone had noticed so that I might not be performing only a slapstick for one. Other times staring baffled into my wrist after accidentally initiating stopwatch mode, or else firing my gaze into a corner of the screen, calculating future compensation, less tax. Before one can get their bearings, the summer ale tap has been repurposed as Oktoberfest. Federal, state, and local holidays are primarily a means of control, infecting cordial conversation with vacant well-wishings, awarding bonuses, coinciding with weather patterns, jamming systems of travel worldwide for obligatory homecomings and accompanying parades of Boy Scouts and fire engines. Still, let's half forgive this trespass, which at least serves for some to mitigate the sense of a slow, sullen march through the working year with strategically located calendar icons. The establishment of Flag Day in the United States, for one, is attributed to a small conglomerate of historical actors, including a dentist, a kindergarten principal, the Elks Club, a descendant of Benjamin Franklin, and the city leaders of Paterson, New Jersey, who were at the time attempting to break a silk strike.